UFC on ESPN 4, San Antonio. This is a TV card. RDA versus Leon Edwards. This makes up for the shit card of UFC 240 and the shit card of UFC Fight Night Sacramento. Okay? This is a phenomenal card. I have a boner. And we're going to break down the entire card start to finish. In the prelims, we start with Domingo Pilate versus Felipe Corrales. I'm going with Felipe Corrales. No, don't ask any questions. Okay, Felipe Corrales is going to get the win. They're both 8-1. Both promising guys. I'm going with Felipe Corrales. Bantamweight. In the next fight, we've got Mario Batista versus Jin Soo Son. I'm going with Jin Soo Son. I'm on an Asian kind of trend right now, okay? I picked Mr. Perfect for UFC Sacramento. Song Yadong's doing work. I think Jin Soo Son's going to get the job done as well. I'll go with Mario Batista. I'm changing my mind because he has the surname Batista. That's a good surname. And I'm going with Mario Batista. Very good guy. Ray Borg versus Gabriel Silva. I have a big problem with Ray. He's 25 as well. Jesus. I kind of have a problem with Ray Borg at 135 pounds. I'll be honest with you guys. Because he wasn't like Henry Cejudo sized when he was at flyweight. You know what I mean? He wasn't the biggest of flyweights. Yeah, he was a big guy, but at 135, he just seems so undersized. I just don't understand why he would move up, because he seems to have been manhandled in his past few fights. And I'm telling you, man, this Jake Hefferman guy, not Jake Hefferman, this Gabriel Silva guy, he's a savage. I'm going to go with him. 8-0, he's finished a lot of his fights at bantamweight. As much as I like Ray Borg, I just feel like he's a little bit undersized in this division. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he has it, if I'm honest with you guys. I really don't. I think Gabriel Silva's going to get the win. I think he's going to get it in dominant fashion in the first round. I'm that confident. Roxanne Modafferi versus Jennifer Maia. When your surname's Maia, usually it preaches good things. But Roxanne Modafferi obviously coming off a few wins. She's very old. She's 36. I don't know who to go with here. I'll go with Jennifer Maia. I'll go with Roxanne Modafferi. I like Roxanne Modafferi here. I think she's going to get the job done. She's a big girl for flyweight. And I think it's going to be very fucking boring. So get ready to take a shit break during that fight, because no one wants to fucking watch that shit. Sam Alvey versus Klidson Farias Diabrio. Very good fight. Sam Alvey coming off that controversial loss to Jim Crute, even though I think he would have gone out anyway after a few more punches. I still think it was a bad decision. However, I am going to go with Sam Alvey here. I think he's going to bounce back. He's a veteran. He's kind of making a name off beating some of these younger guys, other than Jim Crute, of course. And Klidson lost his UFC debut, so he's not in the best spot right now. I'll go with Smiling Sam. I'm going to go with Smiling Sam Alvey here. I think he gets the job done. Raquel Pennington versus Irene Aldana. Irene Aldana, if I'm honest with you. Irene Aldana is a beast. And Raquel Pennington, as much as I like her, 9-7. 9-7! Stop! Only one person can have that fucking record and be relevant in the fight game. And that's Artem Lobov. I won't stand for this anymore. 9-7. She's losing fights. Irene Aldana's been on a fucking streak right now. And I'm going to go with Irene Aldana. And I think she makes a quick turnaround to fight in UFC Mexico. I don't think she gets to finish. I do think she gets a decision win though. Unanimous. All three rounds. Alex Caceres versus Steven Peterson. I'm going with Alex Caceres. I like Steven Peterson. I think he's a very good guy. I also think he's very small for featherweight. Okay, he came up from bantamweight to featherweight. Steven Peterson, decent fighter, taking some damage over his time. He took a fucking beating off Brandon Davis, who's now a bantamweight. And I think Alex Caceres is a good fight for him because Steven Peterson loves to strike. He stands up quite a bit. He may shoot for some takedowns here, but I think Alex Caceres is going to get the job done. That's the main event at the prelims, I guess. That's a good main event of a prelims. I'm okay with that. But the main card is what we're all waiting for and what we're all interested in. Okay? The main card is so fucking good. Andre Chin Replacement Arlovsky is on there with Ben Rothwell. It's a good fight. It's a very good fight. Ben Rothwell, I'm telling you, I thought he beat Ivanov. when I watched back the fight. When I was there, I thought, I don't have a problem with that decision. When I watched back, I thought, no, wait, Ben Rothwell's coming forward. He's landing. I went with Ben Rothwell for that fight. I don't know. It was a close... It could have gone either way. But Ivanov's a beast. So, well, he's not a beast. He's okay. You know, I'm going to need to be careful about how I throw around the word beast nowadays. And I think Ben Rothwell's going to get the job done against Andrei Arlovski. I think a lot of people are a lot smaller than Arlovski. And I think they're a lot timid when they're fighting Arlovski because they think of him as this tricky veteran and they let him get away with certain things because they don't want to commit to certain shots. He is very good, Arlovski. But I think Ben Rothwell's going to have the confidence with the experience he's had in the game to march forward and put some hands on Arlovski's chin and potentially find the finish in the fight. I think Ben Rothwell's going to get it done by knockout. That's a great fight. Ben Rothwell versus Arlovski to open up the card. Then Alexander Hernandez versus Francisco Trinaldo. Don't blink with Hernandez, boys. He comes out to fight. He had a rough one against Olivier Aubin-Mercier. Well, it was kind of a grapple fuck fest. Showed how good his grappling was, though, in beating Olivier Aubin-Mercier. Close fight, but before that, he's fucking spunked all over Beneil Dariush in the first round. Francisco Trinaldo is a savage, though. A very savage, but he's also 40 years old. This could be a changing of the guard type experience. And also, Francisco Trinaldo, injury prone. And some of his last wins, like Evan Dunham, I don't rate that as a win. I rate Beneil Dariush as a win. I rate Olivier Aubin-Mercier as a win. Francisco Trinaldo, I think he's going to get spanked in the first round here. I think Alexander Hernandez is going to come out motivated after his loss to Donald Cerrone. In the fight, he was doing quite well against Cerrone for the first round. Cerrone showed him what's up, though, in the second with that fucking vicious head kick. But yeah, I'm going with Alexander Hernandez. I think he's going to bounce back here and beat up the older, more injury-prone Francisco Trinaldo, who's probably going to be fighting with an injury here. He gets injured that often. He's had 2 fights scheduled for this year that have both been cancelled. James Vick versus Dan Hooker. Oh dear. I want to go Dan Hooker, man. I love Dan Hooker. I really do like him, man. He's one of my favourite guys to watch at lightweight. He's so technical. I picked him to win against Edson Barbosa, but I have to go against my bias, man. I think James Vick gets it. I don't know. I'm going to go with Dan Hooker, but I have problems here. I think Dan Hooker's going to be good. I've never seen him take on a guy as tall as James Vick. I mean, James Vick, you're talking 6'2" at lightweight. Like, it just makes no sense that he's in that division, but he's in that division. I'm going to go with Dan Hooker, though. Actually, I am going to go with Dan Hooker. He trains with Israel Adesanya, a tall, rangy striker that keeps the range on him. And I'm assuming that's what's going to be his perfect training partner for this camp. I didn't even think about that. So I'm going to go with Dan Hooker. One problem I have. Dan Hooker, what do you think of when you think of his game? He keeps the range on, guys, because he's taller than them. Doesn't have that in this fight. What's another key part of Dan Hooker's game? A standing knee to the face. Okay? Not to the body, a knee to the face from standing. Not going to work on James Vick. That's a very big part of Dan Hooker's game. He wobbled Gilbert Burns with it before he put him away. Then he slept Jim Miller with the same knee. Beat Ross Pearson with that same knee. It kind of revolves around that knee landing a lot of his wins. But James Vick ain't going to be hit by that knee. Unless Dan Hooker wants to fucking fly and knee him, then he ain't going to reach James Vick's chin. But I do think Dan Hooker's going to get this job done just from training partner with Israel Adesanya. And Israel Adesanya's getting ready for a fight himself. So he's going to be committed. I'm sure Dan Hooker's using Israel Adesanya to his full potential here. And I think he's going to get the job done, chewing up the legs of James Vick. I don't see a finish. I see a 2-1 on rounds to Dan Hooker. I think James Vick's going to get a round in. But I think Dan Hooker's going to get 2 and take the win by decision. Greg Hardy versus Juan Adams. I'm going with Greg Hardy. These are some big boys, but I'll tell you. People think Greg Hardy's bad. Juan Adams ain't nothing special. He's got one more win than him. And at lower competition levels. Juan Adams, he ain't nothing special. You know, his hands don't come back to his face, much like Greg Hardy. They're technically not very sound. But I'm going to go with Greg Hardy here. I think he's more aggressive. I think he trusts in his chin a little bit more. I think he's a little bit mean when he gets in there, which I like. I like that you can just switch on like that. I think it's one of the advantages of Jorge Masvidal. No timidness off the bat. get straight in there, get straight to work. I think Greg Hardy puts him out in the first round. Juan Adams, good fighter. I don't think he's going to get the job done. I think Greg Hardy's going to get this one in the first round. And then we should see Greg Hardy versus Tuivasa. There you go. That's a good fight. Or Greg Hardy versus... You don't want to give him to Rosenstruik. That's something you never want to do. Greg Hardy versus the winner of Rothwell versus... Let's just chuck him to the fuck. Let's kill him. Kill Greg Hardy. I want him facing the winner of Arlovski versus Rothwell. I don't give a fuck. Speaking of heavyweights, Alexei Oleinik versus Walt Harris is the co-main event. Alexei Oleinik coming off a tough KO loss. Alexei Oleinik has been in the game for a very long time. Walt Harris 12-7, which makes it so hard to fucking root for him. What the state of that fucking record, I swear to God, is an absolute shambles. But he's going to be a much, much bigger guy. A much bigger guy. He's coming off a KO win over Sergey Spivak, whoever the fuck that is. Yeah, I like Walt Harris. Sometimes he can get a bit tentative in there. Sometimes he can get a little bit reckless. But right now he's on a bit of a spree. And by a spree, I mean 1 draw and 2 losses. 1 draw and 2 wins in his last 3 fights. That's what it takes to be on a spree at heavyweight. And I think he's going to ride the momentum and find the early KO against Alexei Oleinik. Alexei Oleinik's coming off a KO loss. He's been KO'd before. He's had so many fights and he's so old for a heavyweight. I know it doesn't seem to matter, but I think Walt Harris is going to be too big for him, hit too hard, and get the job done in the first round. Rafael dos Anjos versus Leon Edwards. This one fucking pisses me off. I can't predict this fight. This is so difficult. This is up to you, man. Like, this is so 50-50 in my opinion. I think, in my personal opinion, I think Leon Edwards wins the first 2 rounds. Comfortably. Because Leon Edwards does that. He's very technical in the first 2. He can grapple his fucking arse off if that's where RDA wants to go. He out-grappled Gunnar Nelson, arguably, until the 3rd round, where he kind of gave up the round because he thought he was ahead. But Leon Edwards, man, he's good. But in the 4th and the 5th round, I know what I see. I see him fucking cruising to a finish and not throwing shots. Whether he's gassed, which he does look a little bit gassed, or he's just being patient and doesn't want to expend any more energy. Listen, I see this fight, Leon Edwards winning the first 2, RDA winning the next half of the fight. It's just how dominant are those last 2 rounds for RDA, how dominant are the first 2 rounds for Leon Edwards. This is a fuckery of a fight. But I'm gonna go... Fuck. Sake, man. Leon Edwards is a big fucking middleweight. That's a big fucking welterweight. Well, basically a fucking middleweight. He's 10 centimetres taller than RDA. He's got a fucking 10 centimetre reach advantage. Over 10 centimetre reach advantage. I'm going with Leon Edwards. I really am going with Leon Edwards. I've never seen knockout power from him. Fuck's sake, man. I know I'm wrong. This is up to you. Don't listen to my fucking dumbass when it comes to this. It's got really dark in here all of a sudden. Maybe it's God trying to tell me something. I'll go with Leon Edwards. I think he wins 3 rounds. And I think in the last 2, RDA starts turning it on. But Leon Edwards is good at avoiding shots. I think he's going to gas out in the 4th and the 5th. But I think he's going to have done enough in the first 3 to secure himself the unanimous decision victory. That's such a tough one, man. This is a great card. This is better than UFC 2. UFC 240 is Holloway versus Edgar. Even that's a bit eh. And then nothing else. What, Jeff Neal versus Nico Price? Okay. Any fucking card where Marc-Andre Barriault is on the fucking main card of a pay-per-view, you know it's shit. If Olivier Aubin-Mercier is on the main card of a pay-per-view. If Arman Tsarukyan in his 2nd ever fight in the UFC after a loss is on the main card of a pay-per-view, you know there's something wrong. But UFC on ESPN for San Antonio blows everything out of the park. I'm glad. It's a good card. Like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Edwards by unanimous decision. 48-47. 3 rounds to 2. Don't see any 10-8s. We'll see. Like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Then we get Leon Edwards versus Masvidal. If Colby beats Lawler. Fingers crossed. That'd be a great fight. I'd watch the shit out of that fight and wank to it. Click that. See ya.